Going to the gym is rather important for your life. You can benefit physically, mentally, and also in your self-esteem. It can be part of your life and become a hobby or maybe something more. Today we're going to learn vocabulary in the gym. Hello there everyone. You're listening to English Classmates podcast, where we as students learn English together by sharing learning methods, talking about a variety of topics and discussing books so that we can get vocabulary from everything. I'm your host, Guillermo, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about the gym, using words that are used inside the gym, as well as a few uncommon words and phrases for our students, and we will explain them at the end of this episode. So let's get into it and learn together. Alright, dear classmates, I fancy sharing with you my first experience at the gym, so we can practice together vocabulary that is commonly used when working out. Working out means exercising, alright? So before I started going to the gym, it never appealed to me because I didn't like the idea of just doing repetitions over and over again. However, going to the gym to work out brings a lot of benefits for your health, both mentally and physically. So it was the best for me to go and work out. I came out of the gate to the gym very enthusiastic. I wanted to shape my body to have a shredded body. Shredded means, in this scenario, gym wise, it describes a low body fat percentage and you have a lot of muscle definition, like Thor. Yeah, that could be a good reference. I normally say chiseled, actually, but shredded means the same. It's the same concept that you have, or that you're ripped. That's another word for it, which it means the same. The muscles are big and defined. All right. So on my first day, I was completely clueless. I was unfamiliar with any exercise or how to use the equipment properly. So I was assigned a trainer, coach, to assist me with my exercises because I didn't know what to do. He gave me a routine, but he didn't tell me the routine right off the bat. Right off the bat, right, it means right away. It could be a synonym. You could use it instead of right away or right up. You could say right off the bat, I did something right off immediately, in other words. So he accompanied me, explaining each exercise and guiding me through the routine. So the first thing I was told to do was warm up. Yeah. So warming up, it's when you stretch your muscles so that you don't get any injury while you're exercising. It's really important to do this because if you work out without warming up before, you could get an injury yourself. So I started off the routine honing on my chest, my pectorals or pecs. Pectorals are the muscles located on the chest. So my trainer guided me to the weight bench area, which was equipped with various plates of different weights. There were three different benches, one for the middle pec area, another for the upper pec area, and the third for the lower area. Weight benches are simply seats where you can work out with dumbbells, which are the ones with little bars with plates already attached with different weights. But the weight bench, which is meant specifically for working out the pecs, can be positioned at different angles. So for the basic chest press, the bench is adjusted in flat position. It has a long bar above the bench in a high position, so you have to lay it down on the bench, push the bar up, and then bring it down to your chest, and then you have to push it back again. Alright. So in my case, since I was just starting, I had placed plate of 10 pounds because I didn't have enough strength to lift more than that. I had to do 4 sets of 10 reps, which meant that I had to push up the bar 10 times and then rest for about maybe a minute or so. It depends on how much weight you lift because sometimes you would need to rest 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. It depends on how your body responds to that. So then I had to repeat that for 3 more times. Sets are the groups of consecutive repetitions. So I did the same for the other pectoral areas, adjusting the bench to different angles for incline and decline presses. And after the weight bench, I was taken to the chest press machine, which is a machine where you sit up straight. You have two handles in front of you, sideways. One is on your left and the other is on your right. You have to push them forward. In that exercise, you use your chest, your triceps, and your shoulders. But it's more focused on gaining strength on your chest, where the other muscles that I said, triceps and shoulders, are involved in the exercise. So, lastly, I had to do push-ups. Push-ups are those when you have to be in a plank position with your hands flat on the floor. To perform this exercise, you have to lower your body towards the floor by bending your elbows and then push yourself back up to the starting position and repeat over and over. I ended up worn out. I ended up pretty worn out with those 3 exercises. That was more than enough for me. 3 exercises, but I had to cool down. It meant that I had to do more gentle exercises with less weight to prevent injury. So I did 15 minutes on the treadmill. And the treadmill is where you walk or jog or run without actually moving. All the gyms have treadmills. If people use them mostly for cardio, let's say I don't use it for cardio, I use it in order to cool down. So, well, after that, I simply went home. That was my first day in the gym. I had a blast. I really enjoyed it. And I'm still going. I love working out because it brings a lot of benefits and it turns my mind off all the time. So I'm going to share with you more gym vocabulary in another episode. I'm going to tell you about my second day in the gym. We're going to learn more muscle names, more equipment, and so forth. All right. So we've reached the end of this episode, and I want to explain a few words that I didn't explain, and they are utterly important to know. Remember, you can also find these words and idioms written in the description of this episode. That will help you visualize how they look in writing. First, we have up straight, which describes the posture of a back erected. You can stand up straight, you can sit up straight, and if you tell someone to sit up straight, you're indicating a person to that person to be in an upright and vertical position. Then we have to come out of the gate. I used it because when I started going to the gym the first day, I was rather enthusiastic and with a lot of energy. So you can use that idiom to come out of the gate when you're going to begin to do something with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. The next word is fancy. It has several meanings, but so you don't get confused, I'm only going to explain the way I use it. When you fancy something, it means that you want to do something or desire something. So I said, I fancy sharing with you something. All right? And there's something very important to consider is that when you use this word fancy, the following verb must be in present participle. It means ing at the end of the verbs, such as sharing, eating, going, and so on. So you could say, I fancy eating a piece of cheese. I fancy eating a piece of cake. I fancy going with you. I fancy playing with you. Alright? If you want just, let's say, a cup of tea or maybe a hamburger, you could say, I fancy a cup of tea or I fancy a hamburger. The last one is to wear out, which basically means to be exhausted. So when you are worn out, it means that you are completely exhausted. That brings us to the end of this English Classmates episode. I hope you have enjoyed learning some vocabulary about the gym. Tune into our next episode and don't forget to follow this podcast and share it with more English students. Thank you for listening, dear classmates. See you next time.